Jesus has put into the history of humanity, a, uh, a power of life which is greater than death. But precisely, I'm at the brink of losing sense that I can keep the power of life. And I think we live this very strongly, and especially when, for example, very oppressing sickness comes into us. We feel that we're dying, and we're so this is a fundamental aspect of the human experience, and which is part of the way I pray to God. You see, prayer is not simply thanksgiving for the marvels of God. And that's what we see with Jesus in his passion. It goes much, much further into a communion which touches the mystery of death. That's the silence of Holy Saturday, right? Asleep in death. The bridegroom is asleep in death. And we, in this Psalm 13, are called to participate in this. And it's part of the expression of our personhood going through Holy Saturdays in the silence of the sleep of death. And this is because there is this opposition in me. And so here we get to the third part, where we come back to, I'm no more looking directly in my relationship, you to God, but I'm looking at myself with respect to my enemy. And who I said earlier is a whole dimension of what is inside my own being. I have my enemy. And lest my enemy say, I have prevailed over him. My foes rejoice, truly see me stumble. So it's interesting, it's lest I fall asleep, but also this idea of the sense that I'm at the brink of death, right? It's also at the brink of seeing my enemy totally prevailing, totally victorious over me. And I have prevailed is a very equative in Hebrew. It's an extremely rich word, and let me try and understand. Lest my enemy say I prevailed over him. Well, who prevails in the first books of the Old Testament? Let me read to you in Genesis, where in Genesis we have here we go, chapter 32 in the story of Jacob. Let me read Genesis chapter 32, verse 35. Jacob was left alone to be tested, and a man wrestled, or an angel, with him until the breaking of the day. When this opponent saw that he did not prevail, Yakol, right? That's what is in Genesis. Here it's Ikoltiv. So when this angel did not prevail against Jacob, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and Jacob's thigh was put out of joint, as he wrestled with him. And then it's Jacob who prevailed against the angel and asking him for his blessing. And so the angel said, with his opponent, your name shall no more be called Yaakov. Yaakov, Jacob, is made up with Yakol, to prevail. You're not only you're not going to be only the prevailing one, but you're going to be called Israel, right? Strong with El, strong with God. For you have striven with God and have prevailed to call. There's always this verse 35 in Genesis chapter 32. So what is this first line of the fourth part saying? Lest my enemies say, with respect to me, I am like Jacob and I have prevailed over it. And I have dominion. I can, I'm going to oblige him. Whereas Jacob obliged the angel to bless him, right? But there's the danger that I find myself before my enemy obliging, right, me to enter his decisions. And my foes rejoice, and my enemy, and I become my enemy's happiness. This sense that I'm almost on the way of total collapse. And we could say Jesus, in his passion, went to the very extreme in living for us, right? The almost touching total collapse. My God, why have you forsaken me? So here we have what we have in the second and the fourth part of the psalm, when we consider my relationship with my enemy. We have again this very richness of relationship, which is linked to a person. So the person is not only revealed in his direct dialogue with God, but also in his dialogue with his persecutor, his opponent. Yet there is this dimension of my person, which is one of faith in your covenant love, of trust in your covenant love, and precisely in your designs, right? In your divine counsel. I trust in your divine counsel, O Lord. It's so I am this challenge of my soul in which I have deliberations in verse 3. In faith, in trust, right? I go beyond deliberations to a really union with God's covenant love. And so there's this first aspect of my turning towards completely, in an absolute manner, towards you, God. We can say that all this last part is the echoes, the new life, which we're celebrating now in the Paschal time, of Jesus. And he, in his humanity, is the one trusting in God's covenant love in a complete, absolute way, but which has been prepared by his passion, and but brought forth, as in this psalm, in an absolutely mysterious and marvelous way. My heart rejoices. So we can say the first two lines is faith and love. And I can, through persecution, I have come to this purity of personhood where I am totally engaged in faith and love. And this is what our Paschal time is all about. Gamal with me. And what does dealt bountifully with me mean? And there's no other psalm which is which concludes with this gamal, except here. And I would say it's one of the great moments of the whole Psalter. Let me give you, in the Psalms, the other times when we have this verb gamal, doing bountifully, and you're going to understand what we're going to understand what this last line means. Truly is thou bountifully with me. So, and we have this in the last part of the Psalms. So in we have in Psalm 116, verse 7, return my soul to your rest. Lord has been gamal to you. The Lord has brought you who are in tribulation or persecution, right? So you can say to your soul, return my soul to your rest, because the Lord has been gamal to you, has dealt bountifully to you. He is, and giving you the rest of the eighth day. But even also in the very, very long Psalm 119, right? Deal gemol with your servant. Deal bountifully with your servant. Be precisely the one who brings out this beautiful gift of goodness, of bounty. But then we have the key psalm of the Psalter, which I think it's the echo of Psalm 13 at the end of the Psalter. Psalm 131, verse 2 in our Hebrew Bibles, and which is translated differently, but let me read it. As a child that is gamul, or usually translated as a child that is weaned, as a child that is now milking the from the breast of his mother. So is Gamul, as a gamul child, is my soul. My soul has become like this. Uh, there's nothing more bountiful than what a baby has at his mother's breast being nourished. So truly, he has dealt bountifully with me. This is the end of Psalm 13. We have also Psalm 142, the last time we have, it doesn't happen very often, this Gamal in the Psalter. Then the just shall gather around me because you have been Tigmol to me. You have given Gamal to me. So I'm going to, the others are going to gather because they're going to be attracted towards this quiet nourishment of God. I remember this word of the superior of all the Carthusians, which is one of the most contemplative communities in the world. He said, my vocation is to be this gamal, that my soul be this gamal with God, be this little child at the breast of Mother God. That's what contemplative life is about. And that's what the last verse of Psalm 13 is about.
Join us on a Zoom call every Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific Coast Time. Register now directly using the link